constantly being questioned.
What happened?
It's a Business Pants Friday show. Stop playing with things over there here at December 5th Studios, featuring analyst Hall Matt Moscardi, who's been vibe coding all night and is turning into a creep, I should add.
I'm real tired. I'm not gonna lie. And you told me that it's called vibe coding. I didn't know it was called vibe coding.
I think it's called vibe coding. Vibe coding is when you use AI to help you code stuff because you don't know how to
Gemini,
code in the first
do
place.
a thing for me, and then something appears, and you're like, "Wow, I'm amazing."
On today's weekly wrap up, a company gets brave. A company gets brave.
One singular.
Robot dogs, flesh-based dogs, and the arrogant prick rights movement begins. Arrogant prick.
It really it does. Yeah, equal rights for arrogant pricks.
Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFlow Analytics and FreeFlowAnalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance for free. In fact,
I love those guys.
I have heard on the inside that updates are coming any day now, and that they're working on like different kinds of new scorecards and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, check out. You know what? At Free Float has one social media account.
Do we?
At
Do
LinkedIn.
they?
Yeah.
Why?
Just the one.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, that seems like one too many, honestly.
It is. It's yeah. It's one is the numbers right social media accounts is all less than the number you have.
Plus or minus 0.5, yeah.
And I think they told me they're gonna start pumping out like scorecard images of internal, just spamming out scorecards.
Okay, fine.
So,
all right. Well, at least it's useful and it's based on objective data and all that.
I know somebody's got to do something objective.
Ready for it? You want to get at it? Story of the week?
Yeah, let's just do this thing.
Because week of December, what is this week? December 1st? First week of December. God, I don't know what's happening this week. Maybe this is like the last week that companies and executives are working, because there was just so many I tagged so many stories this week. It was so many directors coming on, leaving their boards, so many weird stories. It's just everything's happening at once. I mean, and then even this morning, huge, even bigger stories happening. Netflix. They say Netflix is going to buy Warner Brothers.
I don't want to. Why is it
$83 billion? They're going to start with that one. Let's start with that.
Why
one.
is every week just us talking about a story that I really don't want to talk about?
Well,
how is that like the way to end the week?
Here's the silver lining here is that Larry Ellison and his Nepo baby David Ellison, his son, over there at Paramount, they must be really angry today, right?
They're having a bad day, yeah.
Because supposedly the New York Post was reporting that they were talking to Trump earlier this week, making the case against Netflix buying. But how do you even make that case? What is the case? Well, how do you make this case? You're all the same company. Who cares?
Forget the case.
Yeah.
Didn't Larry Ellison lose like a whole bunch of net worth? Recently?
Yeah, because of his partnership with one of the AI companies. I kind of don't remember.
The stock.
I don't know.
Like it took. So maybe should they celebrate? Like, because now he's not worth $300 billion. He's worth $278 billion or whatever.
I'm not here to talk about like consolidation of anything. That's not really where my strength lies. I don't even know if I even have a strength. I don't know.
Where is your
but
strength?
What do I care who it is that buys? Netflix would seem like the most powerful media company, so why wouldn't they be the one who does it?
Why do we only have like 3 media companies anymore? Isn't it it's like
that's always
Disney,
been the case, no?
Netflix, Fox, and Paramount. Like, I guess Comcast has NBC, but does anybody watch that except for Sunday Night Football and the Olympics? Is there any other thing on there?
Can I say another big win for the college up the road from me, Bowdoin, which is up here in cold, horrible Maine, because now they got Mamdani, who's taking over New York City. Reed Hastings is taking over the world, the media, the drug world,
the media world, yeah.
Right. So there you go.
That's it. That's where the line. That's just the two of them.
Isn't that all that really matters, though? Is like the drugs that we consume in New York City? Like, what do people care about anything else? So that's the story. I mean, we can move on. That's the first big story of the week. Let me just ask you this, and then we can get out of that story. Do you think this will happen? Do you think Netflix is actually going to buy Warner Brothers?
The price was $83 billion.
Yeah, and this is after. Right? So this is expected to close third quarter next year because Netflix is smart here because they're waiting for Warner Brothers to get rid of CNN, TNT, and Discovery, which I don't blame them. It's like I wouldn't want that either, right?
Where are they
Why
gonna
would you
get
want
rid of
cable
it?
channels? I mean,
Who are they going to get rid of that to?
they're going to spin off. Believe it or not, they're going to spin off to a separate public company. I mean, this is the way media always works. It's just a nightmare. Media always.
You know what's funny? They basically spent $83 billion for HBO. That's basically what they just spent.
Yeah,
the
for
money
The Sopranos and The Wire.
I mean, like, which good for them for recognizing.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you anymore. It's too much. Too much. Why can't they buy a library? All right,
I'm
that's the first
excited
story
though
of the week.
we could cancel the HBO Max subscription or
Good.
whatever
I
that
already
is,
did that. Yeah,
and just have Netflix.
good. Second story, which was going to be the first story, but I had to lead with the Netflix. Costco. Okay, Matt, I know this is going to shock you, but there's actually a company that's like standing up to Trump. How about this headline from CNN? Costco is poking the Trump bear. So they're saying that big public companies have been afraid of Trump all during his second term. They're basically quietly avoiding conflict or agreeing with them or showing up at dinners or whatever, going to lunch. But now Costco is deciding to sue the Trump administration, contending that Trump overstepped his emergency powers by imposing sweeping tariffs. And they're claiming that they want a refund. They want the money back. I just think, look, I don't know the legality of all this. I don't know if this is actually a political move or not, but I do know this. To be the first one to stick a flag into having headlines that say Costco is suing Trump. That's a bold, courageous move in this like current Fortune 500 climate we live in, honestly.
Isn't this flag like there's two flags? The first flag is that they didn't pass the tariff costs on to the customers, right?
Nope.
Because if they're suing Trump for the tariffs, it means they paid the tariffs
swallowed it,
and they swallowed it. They didn't give it to the customers. So it's hurting their business and they're swallowing it, which is what Trump wanted all the businesses to do. They did it because it was right for the customer. Now they're suing Trump for it. So that's number one, they paid.
Yep.
Number two, they're actually out there saying, you're fucking up my business, right? Like, and this is not the first time. This is the second time because they did it with DEI too.
I know. I mean, they started the year by sticking a flag into his bloated, misogynist belly by saying, "No, we're sticking with DEI. It's good for our business,
we're doing
you
the thing
dopes."
because it's great. We win.
Yes.
Give it to us.
Now, how about this other troll? How about this other troll that happened just today? I think just an 8K file with the SEC. They're bringing on. Not only a person, an official from the Biden administration, which is already a troll, but it's a woman, the former Commerce Secretary, the former governor of Rhode Island, Gina
Raimondo.
I mean, and this is going to be the greatest. They're going to complain about this being a DEI hire because in their universe, this is not merit-based. This is DEI, right? And this is a woman who not only was a Rhodes Scholar, but again, the governor of Rhode Island and the Commerce Secretary. So again, she just blows up all of the DEI message because we're going to talk about next with AT&T. Every time they drop DEI, they always tell you that because now everything's merit-based. And we know what that means, right? We know what they're inferring by saying that now we're doing merit-based hiring, right? We get it. Wink, wink, right? Women are dumb, right? I mean, we get it.
Yep. No,
they're only
no
there
blacks,
because they're women.
No gays. No women.
Because they're woke. That's all the reason why they're there.
That's it.
Costco is like, this is the troll of the year. Like this news.
What
like,
I don't
crazy.
actually, the only thing I don't like about this story is why is the media covering it like they're poking Trump? Aren't they just doing what everyone should do?
Yes, of course.
Like
this is how the media
why
works
are we
now.
framing it like
It's all clickbaiting.
Trump is poking everyone else?
Yes, that's true.
Costco is the one who's like, you know what normal looks like? You hire women and people of color and gay people because they're good at their jobs. You hire the ex-commerce secretary who's a Rhodes Scholar because she's awesome and qualified for your board. You don't charge tariffs.
I agree.
Like it seems like really they're not poking the bear. They're fucking doing what they're supposed to.
Plus, this is it's not just about Trump either. It's about his entire administration. It's about the entire Republican Party. This is nothing, right? I mean, it's not about one man. I mean, it's
in the
stupid.
past week,
The Senate, the Congress,
The Trump administration in the past week has managed to probably commit war crimes without a war. They have he fired the architect on the East Wing because he didn't like how big it was going to be. He wanted to be
Oh,
biglier.
right? I didn't hear that.
He just fired the they wanted to go biglier and faster. It's everything about it is like a clown
Bunch of
car.
dopes.
It's a
Yeah.
clown car.
Well-
and Costco's like, you know what you do with clowns? You laugh at them and you sue them.
You know what
Like,
other
that's what you do. I
you
love
know
it.
what other governance threshold that Costco is now going to meet now that Gina is going to be on the board? They're now 50-50. It's half women now officially. So that's like a very rare. I don't know how many of the boards we cover that get, especially at this size, get up to that level. Usually, like they're kind of. I mean, I shouldn't say they're fringe companies, but there's something like in like where do we see a lot of 50-50 boards? We see like in some small forms of retail or right
A
like
lot of like Ulta Beauty is going to be 50.
Right, exactly, like cosmetics,
Right,
yes.
like cosmetics.
But again, so this is another thing that they're just like the Costco troll announcement. But anyway, that's the second story of the week. And then we get sad again and sick
we were
and lame.
just picking up.
AT&T commits to drop DEI programs and goals. And
That's so obvious. We knew that was
Yeah.
coming.
so this is what they said. AT&T does not and will not have any roles focused on DEI. So again, this is all part of like Brendan Carr. He's the FCC chair. He's just going after telecommunications. I guess he's just going under any company that's in his purview, right? Like this is his thing. He actually put out of all things, he announced this on Twitter or X. First of all, it's like a government official is using a social media
I'm shocked.
company that is like not even one of the biggest social media companies. So already there where I'm like, I don't understand. But he actually cites the FCC chair. He cites Robbie Starbuck in that announcent. Like,
No.
yes, it's like how is any of this serious? I mean, they're so proud of themselves. So AT&T said also saying that they removed training related to DEI, as well as any references to it from our
well,
internal
good.
and external messaging.
I mean,
And here it is. And here's the part. It is now AT&T's practice to pay in advance individuals based on merit and qualifications. So we have to make sure that we slide that in because, remember, it's the white men that have the merit and are qualified, right? It's not the former governor of Rhode Island. She's not qualified for anything.
I remember vividly "Don't say gay" as a policy in the Army, right? Like,
Yeah, that was like a Clinton administration
that was a
thing.
Clinton administration thing, and it wasn't until like Obama that they basically were like, okay,
They could say gay.
like we can say gay. You're like, the Make America Great Again has
Ugh.
been don't say anything
Yeah, it's
except
weird.
white guy. It's don't say anything. It's mostly don't say billionaire, right? You can talk about whatever billionaires say is what you can say is kind of where we're at. But
How about
to remove any references, and they didn't say any references, period. They said any references from our internal and external messaging.
Well, thank
like
God,
they
yeah.
can't even say to each other diversity. They
Right.
we removed references to diversity, equity, and inclusion that we would say to each other. Like if
yeah.
Jerry at the water cooler is like, wow, like there's a diverse set of flags that I saw at the UN when I drove by today. Does he get fired?
He should.
Now
Isn't
he
that-
should.
Yeah. How about this? Hats off to Anna Gomez. There's now only one Democrat on the FCC board. I don't know how this. Only one commissioner. I don't even know how this is possible. But anyway, Anna Gomez, she says it perfectly. AT&T's reversal isn't a sudden transformation of values, but a strategic financial play to curry favor with this FCC administration. Companies should remember that abandoning fairness and inclusion for short-term gain will be a stain to their reputation long into the future. Now, that stain is something that we've been talking about internally. Is how do we start to credit or discredit companies and directors who are part of these things, right? How can we build in a system. I equated it to like there's the Ohio State football team used to put these stupid stickers on their helmet whenever they like hit a guy so hard that he was like, maybe crippled or something, like when they did something good. So why can't we develop in our database? Why don't we develop some kind of system where we know the AT&T board made this decision? AT&T board, which includes such luminaries as Marissa Mayer, right? Marissa Mayer, who the former Yahoo CEO, who's also on the Walmart
double
board.
DEI
So she's a
flipper?
double DEI disser, right? So anyway, I wanted to credit Anna Gomez there for that quote on this move by AT&T. Looks like you have something to say. Do you have something to say? You want to move on?
They're one of my assholes of the week.
Okay, let's move on. The fourth story of the week is one from like the ESG pile. Zillow doesn't care. I always like to include a nerdy story that no one's going to care about but me. Zillow doesn't care if climate change destroys your new home. The real estate platform is now removing climate risk scores from its listings. They're calling this a potentially ruinous development for some buyers. I can't see any reason to do this, but here's what I want to talk about. And I was playing around with FreeFlow Analytics' new scorecard tool on Zillow. Zillow is one of these companies that it just angers me, right? So Zillow is led by two bros.
I'm shocked.
Lloyd Frink and Richard Barton. They control 76% of board influence.
That's a lot.
They hold 55% of the voting power, despite actually owning only 12% of company shares. So do the math there.
12% is high for most of these bros.
They still pay themselves. They made a combined $83 million over the past 3 years. There are 3 women on this board. There's a minus 23% gender influence gap. April Underwood, Amy Botinsky, and Claire Tilkey combined hold 4% of influence. They have no leadership positions on the board.
Come on,
none.
Botinsky doesn't count because she's
a former.
She was
executive.
the former Zillow executive. True. She basically worked for the bros.
This company's full of dopey, long tenured directors, including Jay Hoag.
Yeah, finally, yes. Jay Hoag getting a shot.
Who serves on the board at Netflix with Zillow co-founder Richard Barton, I might add. And remember, the shareholders at Netflix don't know how to get rid of Jay Hoag. They've tried multiple times. They can't get rid of him. Audit committee chair Greg Maffei, who sits on like 17 boards.
Oh my God, he's everywhere. Most of them are his companies.
He's also
the CEO of
Q-Rate Retail, again with Richard Barton. So compensation committee chair Jay Hoag is on a board with one of the founders, and so is audit committee chair Greg Maffei. My whole point is this: this company should delist people. We can't do it anymore. We can't have dual class shares. We can't have dictatorships. It's a joke. It's a joke to the public markets.
I mean, that Jay Hoag, even when he gets voted out, gets kept. His accomplishments are being on the board of Netflix, TripAdvisor, and Peloton. Is anybody talking about TripAdvisor and Peloton as like major companies? Greg Maffei was the CEO of TripAdvisor. Netflix on the board. He's on the board with Richard Barton. It is a joke that investors keep voting anything but no against anyone on this board. And I get it. It's a dual class company. You can't vote them out.
Yeah, it's a venture capitalist company. Every
single vote should then be 45% against. Every single one.
This is really one of the all-time boards. There's also a guy. I haven't even mentioned the CEO, but there's also a guy. I call him the earnings underperformer, Bill Gurley. He's batting 94 at Stitch Fix and batting 0.010 at Nextdoor, and he's struggling at Zillow. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, Zillow's earnings overall are like I don't have the number in front of me. It's low. It's like 100. They're batting like 100.
I'm over it. Can we vote
109.
on,
They're hitting 109 in earnings. This is a terrible.
um,
Anyway, that's my fourth story of the week. Why don't you
so
recap and give me your vote?
Netflix buying Warner Brothers, Costco doing the right thing. They're not poking a bear. They're doing the thing they should be doing. Everyone should be doing
The only
it.
company doing it.
AT&T dropping DEI and Zillow doesn't care. I can't do AT&T dropping DEI simply because everybody else has. John Stankey came out and basically said he hates his pregnant employees and he hates if didn't he say like there was a memo he released that was like
Yeah.
if you're not willing to basically, work every day of your life here, including through your, maternity leave, if you need like maternity leave, you should get out. Well, he said he had some memo that was grossly assholey dick written, right? Like he wrote it actually, I think, with his penis. And then your last story is Zillow doesn't care. Mostly your story really is Zillow's board is a shit show.
Well, Zillow's a shit show, and investors don't have any say when the company they invest in is like dropping. Like maybe this could be important to them, but there's no avenue into Zillow. It's not a public company; it's a private company. So you can't even weigh in on decisions like this.
It's hard for me to choose Zillow as the story of the week.
John Stankey, yeah, he had the big memo about loyalty. That's what you're referring to.
yeah,
Loyalty.
yeah.
Being
There
loyal
was-
to the company.
We covered it on the show, and there was some stuff he said that was just gross and ridiculous. I can't choose that one. DEI, AT&T. First of all, it's up for asshole of the week, but mostly the asshole is like this echo chamber of conservative snowflakes.
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like,
Brendan Carr, really,
Brendan
right?
Carr referencing Robbie Starbuck, who's referencing like all they do is like talk up to each other and themselves, right? Like they're basically it's like whatever the white male version of navel gazing is, because it's not.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who who went to Georgetown. He's a lawyer. I mean, it's like what? I don't even know why he's interested in this fight. I don't even know what he's doing in this territory.
But
how that he even has an opinion about diversity and inclusion is beyond me.
I know that Netflix buying Warner Brothers is a big deal for the media landscape, but I'm choosing Costco. I'm gonna go with Costco.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. Has to be.
Because look, it's rare anymore when we talk about a company that does the right thing as the normal, right? Like now we're talking about
absolutely.
companies basically doing nothing but the opposite of what they should be doing simply to get favor, right? Like because it's a give me favors government. So I like that Costco is doing the thing it's supposed to do.
Yeah, and the mainstream media also picked up on them. And CNN did say that their decision last week to sue the Trump administration was shocking because they're the only company. There have been some smaller companies also doing it, but they're the only big company. Like that's it.
And
That's
it's
it.
like and if you were to attack Costco is one of the few companies that offers an answer to affordability, right? Like you can finally get toothpaste and toilet paper.
I mean, even the gas is sold at a discount.
The gas is sold at a discount. Like it's the whole brand is about affordability. So have fun going after Costco and trying to put them out of business. All right, let's
move on.
You're making me angry with stuff. I need to feel good again.
I feel good about Costco.
I feel good about Costco.
I should have led with Costco.
I
but
feel
didn't.
angry that why are we only talking about one fucking company?
That's true.
Why?
I'm all like weirdly excited by Costco, and then you're right to point out that it's one. It's one. Company.
Where's everybody else? Like
Yeah.
this, what they're doing, it's not. They're standing up. They're not standing up on moral grounds. They're basically saying we're not a corrupt company. We're just doing the thing that is the right thing for our business and our people. Like that's
Yes.
it. It's not that complicated.
Speaking of which, and you probably won't like my good leads of the week, but it's kind of on the same vein. There was a headline that says there are more billionaires than ever, and they have almost $16 trillion in wealth. So I wanted to highlight Melinda French Gates. The headline this week is Melinda French Gates slams billionaires who aren't giving away enough of their wealth. Again, it's like Melinda and Mackenzie. I mean, Elon Musk went on the record this week saying that philanthropy is hard. It's very hard.
You know what? Know who also went on this week? Jeff Bezos said it was hard.
It's difficult. So to your point about Costco, why is it only one?
But robot that goes to Mars is not that hard.
But I'm going to praise Melinda and
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie every time they give and every time they call out others.
handing my money to somebody who needs it is hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
I hate everybody.
Well, in the meantime, they're like developing. They're investing heavily into AI, into going to space. Those things seem maybe tricky, and yet they can't like just hand off their money. That's difficult to them.
That's
I mean,
hard. Yeah.
it shows you the mentality of these people. It's really kind of messed.
I mean, Bezos, and this is another one of my assholes of the week, but Bezos talked about like, it's hard to find, like high leverage or lever up opportunities for philanthropy. Basically, what he's saying is, like, when I deploy capital at like Amazon,
Oh,
like
boy, I'm
every
already
dollar
out.
I deploy bring back 5 in returns, right?
Yeah.
When I give $1 in philanthropy, how do I prove that it does 5
Oh,
in
God.
returns? And it's like,
Sorry,
you
Jeff.
know what
Poor
you do?
Jeff.
You give the fucking dollar.
Yeah.
That's it. You could take your entire fortune
Jeff.
and give it to every person in this country who makes below the poverty line, and they wouldn't make below the poverty line anymore.
How about this, Jeff?
It's
Just
that
build.
easy.
Do it. Start with an easy experiment. You could do it right there in the DC area. Build 5,000 homes, and then drive by once a week and look at the lights on, and you can look at the Christmas trees. Like there's proof. People are living in there. You can look at the smoke coming out of the chimney. There's some proof. All right.
My good
Your
list,
good list.
is obviously ironic,
It's
but
always,
this is good. I like this. This is fabulous. This is the headline: Billionaire heads on robot dogs pooping photos goes viral at major Miami art fair.
Well, it's funny that's in Miami too, right? Isn't that where the billionaires like to go now?
That is so. Art Basel
Yeah.
is an annual. It's a
Basel
massive,
Bezos.
massive like art conference
Sure.
or installation in Miami. My wife has been. She says it's amazing. Somebody took the Beeple is the name of the artist. Took those little robot dogs.
Yeah, they're
And
calling
basically-
calling them skin-colored robot dogs.
They put wax faces, like lifelike wax faces of
Yeah.
billionaires on
Yeah.
the dogs instead of dog heads, and make them occasionally poop out pictures.
Oh, pictures
Yeah, a digital picture
of what?
I think they're literally taking a picture of the people there and just pooping
Oh,
it.
interesting.
Like it's just like, but this, I saw the pictures of it. First of all, they
The
are
heads are remarkable.
creepy looking.
Yeah.
Like the
They're
heads
remarkable.
look really like Zuckerberg and
No,
Musk.
that's incredible. This is Beeple Studios, based in Charleston, South Carolina.
And watching them walk around, apparently they walk into each other, and occasionally they go in poop mode where they like squat and print out a picture.
Yeah,
This is the best use of robotics I've ever seen.
the
Like,
only good use I've seen.
other than going to actual Mars with a rover and learning stuff about Mars, this is the second best use ever. This is what I want. I
this is
would
the
buy
best.
that for my house.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
just
would
wouldn't
buy.
want those. I wouldn't want like that, like that lifelike head of Mark Zuckerberg walking around my floor though. That would
gonna
unless
say I
he's
win.
picking up dust or something. I
I'm
don't
going
know.
to say good, that's the goodliest.
All right, let's move on.
Let's go on. You assholes. And I want to move quickly through these because we already touched on half of them. I've got 3. Number 1, let's do the ones that we've touched on first. First, we'll go with merit-based ass kissing.
And again, you're talking about AT&T. Now,
I
a
am.
lot of this has to do with the fact that the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, he's strong-arming these companies, right? Because they have deals they want to make, right? And they're just acquiescing because they want to do these deals. Isn't that right?
That is
Isn't
correct.
that basically what he's doing? He's threatening them and saying that I'm not going to allow you to buy this or merge with that.
That is correct. That is
Yeah.
exactly what he's doing. But here is like my problem with this.
Yes.
AT&T comes out and says they're eliminating DEI and it will now be all merit based.
Bold move.
I looked at just the data on the board.
Before we get there, did they define merit?
No.
Because here's a great opportunity for them to define what the hell
This
they're
would have been
talking
the
about.
moment, wouldn't it?
Right?
This could have been the moment for them. But
How about a big list of objective criteria they're using to define? Is anyone ever going to define merit? What does merit look like? Is it
No.
like how many tuna sandwiches you can eat in an hour? That could be part of merit. What is it? What is it?
Well, part of what might be merit
What?
on the board of AT&T is the fact that on the board of AT&T, roughly 40 to 50% of the board members are connected to one another through other boards. Meaning,
That doesn't sound like merit. It sounds like a bro club, like a club,
merit
country club.
at AT&T is the other people on the board. That's how you get your job.
Right.
In fact, the top, according to Free Flow Analytics data, the top knowledge type on this board is economics, which is useful for phones in what way? Like, don't they still do phones, right? Communications,
I
telecom,
guess, yeah.
technology. But how is it that the majority of the board is basically just backgrounds in economics? It doesn't have to do with anything. They almost have like a profile of a bank, not a telecom company. Their team TSR performance is 482, where 500 is average return for a board. Controversies is one of the worst. It is 204 as a company. It's one of the
Right.
worst. John Stankey himself, the CEO of AT&T, is one of the worst performers on earth at
that right?
0.028, meaning he's in the worst 3% of all people on publicly traded boards for
Is that right?
controversies facing their companies. This is merit? Shouldn't we fire the entire AT&T board if we're hiring based on merit? This is what drives me nuts about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's not merit. It's just ass kissing. Stop with the gaslighting. Nobody's
Look,
buying it.
I'd almost
Nobody
be okay.
cares.
I mean, I wouldn't be okay with it, but I'd almost be okay with getting rid of DEI if you didn't follow up with the horrible racist and sexist thought that we're going to be hiring based on merit now. I could almost stomach it if you didn't do that, but they always do that. They always
You know what? The press
the inference
release should
inference
read-
there. Not only is the inference there hateful, but it's wrong. Because the women are, as we've proved over and over and over in papers on these shows with data, they're actually more qualified than the men, at least on the boards.
The press release should just read AT&T moving to hire white men so that Brendan Carr and the Trump administration gives them deals. That's all it should say.
Okay.
That's what it. Then no one's gaslit. We know exactly what's
Let
happening.
people deal with that how they will.
Then we could just deal with that reality and move on. So they're first, second.
And let's not forget that Verizon, T-Mobile, they're the third telecommunication company that's done this year, right? All three have already
They're
done
all-
it this year.
Basically, throw your phone out the fucking window because if you're a
Yeah, good
brown
luck
person or a
good luck.
woman,
Yeah.
they don't want you to use it, have it. They don't want to employ you. They're not interested in you at all. Number two, replacing government safety nets with billionaires.
You're talking about the Dell donation?
So this week, Michael and Susan Dell donated $6.25 billion to fund Trump accounts.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Right.
Trump is giving money to kids.
Yeah.
He wants his name on everything. So that
certain
you
certain
think
kids
he's like Robin Hood.
Not all kids, and you have to opt in too, so it's not
25 million kids was the total amount that they would give to if you opted in for you're born and you get, and the rules are really not there because
Yeah.
nothing there's
But it's something.
they do random stuff but no execution.
Sure.
That was announced.
Like
I
Doge.
also saw Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez Bezos commit $102.5 million to organizations combating homelessness across the U.S. Quote, "This is just the beginning."
Sure.
We mentioned Melinda French Gates slamming billionaires. We mentioned Elon Musk saying it was hard. In the article about Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, that Jeff Bezos says it's hard. Here's what Lauren
He thinks
Sanchez
it's
had to say.
hard. Such a
This is a quote from the article. Quote, Sanchez Bezos recounted meeting families benefiting from local organizations to which the Bezos Day One Families Fund offered grants. She met one woman who had been kicked out of her home with her infant daughter, but the organization took her in for the night, gave them a bed with sheets and a locked door.
Right.
Quote, "It brought tears to my eyes seeing this little baby and seeing her flourish," Sanchez Bezos said. "Selfishly, it fills my heart meeting these families. It really, really does."
Ugh.
102 million is part of I think a $6 billion or less than that offering that they've made or over an 8-year period. Meanwhile, he is worth $260 billion.
Yeah, and meanwhile, he's not like going after the legislation that could provide for these families, right?
To
It's
your
not
point-
about creating a social safety net.
Like these are the
could
same
solve it.
people that fight against affordable housing because they
Right.
want real estate prices. They don't want to live next to an affordable housing complex. They want real estate prices to go up because and yet then I have to read Lauren Sanchez talk about bringing tears to her eyes, seeing
It
them
is-
give a woman and a baby who were kicked out one night to sleep.
Yeah, the
Like-
hypocrisy is tough because let's not forget that it was a mere month ago that the amount of executives and billionaires in New York City who were crying and threatening to leave, upset about Mamdani, who was all about affordability. You know, like New York City's ruined. They're writing $1 million checks to prevent it, like anything they could to prevent anyone coming in to create any kind of affordability.
And guess what? They didn't leave. Not one of them
Well,
left.
of course not.
In fact, I just read a story that prices in November jumped.
Of course.
They actually went up. More billionaires and millionaires bought houses in New York City after Mamdani was elected. But
There you
here's
go.
the thing here's my problem with it. Here's the big asshole trade that everybody's fucking ignoring. It's that the Trump administration has gutted all forms of social safety nets. We know that was covered. At the same time, billionaires are out there giving more money, air quote, more money than they ever have, right? We're getting announcements about how much money they're giving, and we're celebrating the Dell and Bezos for giving so much money.
Buffett.
There was just a story in the Times about how Musk has the largest foundation now with $14 billion in it.
Right.
These billionaires are so philanthropic. The trade has been the government used to give equal access to safety, as in everybody had an opportunity to partake in the social safety net of the United States government as a U.S. citizen. Now, it's only what billionaires decide they want to give you, when they decide they want to give you, in the amount they decide they want to give you.
And they get to press release it as well.
And they get all the press for it.
Yeah.
They are not losing money on this trade because the way that they're making money is their money sits in accounts and accrues, and they're giving you less than the interest you make on their money. In fact, when you do the math, right? Bezos is worth $265 billion or something like that. That is, he's giving $8 billion or $6 billion over 8 years. It's less than 3% of his net worth today, which means all he has to do is make 3% on his money, and all he's given you is the interest he's made.
Right.
Do you understand? He's not giving you a lot of money. He's giving you less than the interest he makes on the amount of money he has. Can you imagine if you had $10,000 and you got 3% interest on something, and you decided to give somebody like $30 and you press released it?
Yeah.
That's what he's fucking doing.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
he's press releasing, giving you a 4 cups of Starbucks
Yeah.
for a normal person. These assholes.
All right, so that's your second.
Nuts.
So your second. Wait. So did we already do your first asshole was merit-based ass kissing? That's companies like AT&T, doing the proper
merit
racist,
thing, yep.
misogynistic thing for the Trump administration. The second was
This
replacing
replacing
government
nets.
safety nets with billionaire whims, right? Like the
And,
Dell.
and now my third. You
Yeah,
ready
go
for
ahead,
my
third.
third?
Got
It's
it.
just a singular arrogant prick.
Yes.
And the rise of arrogant pricks.
The rise.
headline-
I mean, what do you mean the rise? You mean
The
like
headline is
yeah.
Palantir CEO Alex
Ugh.
Karp defends being an arrogant prick, quote, and says more CEOs should be too.
Okay, now help me out here. Is that clickbait, or is that really what's happening? He really did this? He really
He said it at the Dealbook conference. He said in his world.
Oh, at the New York Times Dealbook
Yeah,
conference,
yeah,
where they invited Erica Kirk, the new CEO
Explain
of
to me
Turning
how
Point
Erica
USA.
Kirk
I don't know.
should be speaking at any fucking
I have no
thing.
idea.
Like,
Honestly, yeah.
I thought the whole move was like government we're supposed to be kept out of business. And at the
Right.
business conference, the DealBook conference, we have literally the most political organization we could find and put them on
unbelievable.
stage.
Really?
Like the
And-
most divisive
yeah.
political organization
Crazy.
on the planet at this
Yeah.
point. With the exception of maybe the Taliban.
Yeah, and I
in
know that
terms
wasn't
of
your point, but
divisiveness.
I got to call out the Deal Book conference for that. But go ahead.
But in Karp said, arrogance is a necessary survival mechanism for a leader who intends to be right even when it is unpopular.
And again,
Intends to
like
be.
this is how these tech bros operate, right? Like their statements are said always as facts, right?
It's just
Because we don't know we don't know if arrogance is a necessary survival mechanism for leaders.
Well,
we don't
know that it's not, because the majority, if you just look, and I'm talking about on average, because there are arrogant women too, but
Sure.
if you look at women as a cohort, as a massive diverse cohort, on average, arrogance isn't like a central line that runs through women. And yet, somehow, we survive. We not only do we survive, we thrive. Women are
Yeah.
actually better at survival mechanisms.
The other problem too is that we don't have enough data to study this, because there aren't enough women in charge of companies, right, across the world. And when they are, they're often like they've come in crisis mode or cleanup mode. So probably acting like arrogant in that situation might be necessary. I don't know,
Yeah,
because
but-
they're on a glass cliff to begin with.
Alex Karp is viewing the world through the singular lens of building a business is the only thing that matters. In fact, he said, quote, "The only people who pay the price for being wrong in this culture in complete fashion are poor people. The rest of us somehow outsource all the times we're wrong and stupid to the whole society." He's talking about like when in the financial crisis, the banks basically fail. The failure gets socialized, but the bank, executives still make bonuses and all the money. That is correct. And he is separating himself from that because of the way he does business.
He's also a faux. He's really dug deep this year into like a faux populist rhetoric, where he represents the little guy. He's not elite.
His
Remember,
background would suggest that he should.
remember he kept saying that like he's anti-elite universities, and we pointed out that including him, his entire board is either. It's like Stanford or Duke, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all elites. It's all
Stanford and one Duke.
But he's embracing this nonsensical faux populism where he's fighting for the little guy. Like this is what he thinks he's doing.
So there's Karp's view on arrogance, which in and of itself is arrogant and stupid, and it's totally misinformed because it's myopically through the lens of business leadership as some sort of conflation for the way the world needs to run and the way the world does run, which isn't true at all. But the rise of arrogant pricks includes, now we're hearing from Sundar Pichai on a weekly basis. The quiet
Jensen
Google
Huang.
CEO
Yeah.
who's trying on like Cassandra as a personality type. He's like cosplaying as a AI Cassandra now.
Well,
Like,
this
he's talking a bunch.
This group that lunches with Trump, all the boys, they are emboldened even more than ever this year to give us their constant stream of consciousness,
nonstop.
which they think are the facts that sort of form our world, right?
You pulled a story about Sam Altman's now talking about building rockets because
Right.
every fucking, as soon as you make a certain amount of money and everybody's listening to you, the first thing you want to do is build a giant penis that pierces the mesosphere. Like,
Yeah.
well, I don't understand
These aren't
why
even
that's a thing.
these aren't even scientists. These aren't even physicists. They're,
No,
like,
but
they're
that
not
doesn't
chemists. They're
matter
not
to them.
biologists. They're
Like the rockets are like it's like Howard Hughes, like it's building airplanes.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Like it's like a strange desire of men to somehow like conquer some physical beast that I don't even understand it at all. Like, get the fuck out of the way. But Musk and Zuckerberg and Bezos, everyone with the 6,000 to 1 CEO pay ratio at this point, or net worth ratio, is pontificating.
Yeah.
It used to be just Jamie Dimon says. Now
That's
it's
true.
everybody fucking says. If you got a
Yeah.
billionaire, they just say shit and everyone
Oh,
writes
these-
about it.
These people make Jamie Dimon look like Albert Camus. I mean, like he's like relatively
done.
philosophical compared to these dopes.
I'm
honestly.
done with these people. They're arrogant enough to think anyone should listen to you. Alex Karp, shut your fucking mouth. No one needs to listen to you.
All right,
Literally,
so
before you existed, the world went on, and we did amazing things. After you exist, the world will go on, and the things will happen. You don't matter.
Well,
shut up.
but I don't know. The last part is to be seen. Like if our future continues to be controlled by the arrogant pricks,
If
we
they
don't
blow
know.
up everybody,
We don't know how
they
long it's gonna
control
exist.
everybody,
Yeah.
Alex Karp's still gonna die, and everyone's gonna die. You can't escape it. And guess what? You don't matter. Like you don't. You really
All right.
don't. Your opinion.
I'm going to deflate
doesn't
your.
matter.
I'm going to deflate your ranting now. I'm going to vote for assholies of the week. So it's arrogant pricking of CEOs, merit-based ass kissing, and replacing government safety nets with billionaire whims. Oh, this is a tough one. 'Cause
I
they're
know,
all kind of in the
everything
same.
is-
They all kind of feel like the same problem here, do they not?
It is a little bit, yeah. But everything is always the same problem. It's basically
Yeah.
men doing like white guys doing white guy shit. Isn't
I'm
that
gonna-
all it is?
I'll just go for the easy vote here, and I'm looking right at Michael Dell. Because
wow! I wouldn't have guessed that.
because again, like you got to giggle in the first place, like that Dell is still even relevant, and that he made all this money by selling like a plastic box that has like a stupid like motherboard. I don't even know, like who cares? But to call them Trump accounts, to go on such a nauseating like PR run with all this, and you're right. What all that it's actually doing is replacing social welfare safety nets. That's all it's doing, and to make us and to trick. And what's worse is that they're tricking people. They're tricking their voters. They're tricking them into thinking that they care, and that they're taking care of them, and it's that hypocrisy that is the most nauseating to me.
So
honestly.
for Dell, in Dell's case, his net worth is $145 billion.
$1,000. Are you kidding me?
His Dell's net worth is $145 billion. His offer is 4% of his net worth to this, which means
A net worth built on computer like
forget
laptops.
what it's built on.
Who cares?
Because they all build it on something different. The point is the amount that they're actually giving is less than the interest they make on their assets.
No, I agree with
Number
you, but I'm
one.
saying it.
And,
I'm saying it's not like he developed life-saving vaccines or something.
and number two, if the government had taxed him at a
So that's another
reasonable
good point.
rate,
Yeah, of course.
we wouldn't be talking about needing your $6 billion.
No, that's
we'd be
true.
talking about having plenty of money to do all the things that you're doing, that you're choosing for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is and was. Maybe I'm parroting Elizabeth Warren here, and I think that actually Melinda French Gates mentioned this too. It is the regulatory environment in the United States that allowed you to gain this wealth so quickly, and to your point that without any obstacles in your way, without a tax system in place that helps the social welfare net, you wouldn't have had this wealth in the first place. So you're benefiting from U.S. regulation to get this. So you're right. Yeah. So you should be giving back because you're the ones who are making people poor in the first place.
So they're estimating that Mackenzie Scott has given $19 billion so far.
And she's still a multi-billionaire.
Do you know how much that is as a percentage of her net worth?
Tell me.
55% of her net
Right.
worth. And it's hard for these boys.
Remember, the Giving Pledge was
They're
supposed
giving
to be what?
4%, and
What was
they're
the Giving
press
Pledge? Like
releases.
99% of your wealth? What was the Giving Pledge originally?
Yeah, it's to give substantially all of it, like 95%.
And people like Elon Musk did sign that Giving Pledge.
But they didn't say when. Right? They said
All right,
their
let's move on.
lifetime, but like
Let's move on. I voted.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
I'm shutting you down. Let's go
all
to
right,
headlines.
Let's do headlines, winners, predictions.
I think we might actually finish pretty quickly this week. The Costco
Thank
thing,
God.
like we ranted a bit less at the top of the show because Costco has made us like unusually a bit chipper, but then you kind of brought us back into
Oh,
the
of course,
gutter.
I always bring us down.
Um,
Do you have headlines?
Mine are a bit more long-winded. Do you want to go quickly, or you want me to go first?
I have I did the assignment this week.
You
which
did
is
it
just
right.
Pick a headline, right? Like
Yeah,
no other thing.
I just had two that I couldn't avoid, so I'll go first.
Yeah,
I'll
go first.
Zuckerberg basically giving up on metaverse after renaming entire company Meta. I thought that was funny. Remember, he actually, I still don't really understand it. Remember, he renamed his social media empire, which really is Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, right?
Yep.
It's incredible monopoly that the FTC would just look the other way on. They were just like, whatever. He weirdly pivoted to call it Meta Platforms, which still no one knows what that is or was intended to be. And now he's because remember the metaverse was all the rage.
I remember, yeah.
Before the
NFTs
AI was the
in the
rage.
metaverse, yeah.
But now he's like scaling back. He's firing everyone. He's not investing anymore. He's giving up. I just thought that was cute. I just think it's
cute.
funny. I just think Zuck is funny.
What do you think he pivots the name to next?
Why not just get right to it and just call it like the Commonwealth of Zuck or something like?
Yeah, I like that. That's at least
the
more
sovereign
honest.
nation of Zuckerstan or something. Yeah. The other one that is just galling to me, I had to point out. I can't believe the world we live in. Speaking of like market manipulation and blowhard CEOs and like, I just sometimes it's just the world moves so fast now that it makes my head spin. And this is one of the reasons why I'm proud to be involved with this company, even though it's like, are we constantly like pissing into the wind here because we can't even get people
Begging
to vote
for money.
Yeah, we can't even get people to vote against directors, but we're trying our best to act as like sort of a watchdog to corporations here. But listen to this headline: NVIDIA CFO, and of course it's a woman, Colette Kress, right? Because it's always going to be a woman who has a conscience. NVIDIA CFO admits the $100 billion OpenAI mega deal, the one that basically, I don't know if you remember, basically launched, they call it the biggest AI infrastructure project in history, and launched this madness of AI spending and investing and
spending,
the bubble, the stock bubble. She admits that the mega deal with OpenAI still isn't even signed 2 months after it helped fuel this amazing AI rally. It's still not official. It's not a real thing.
They're just ironing out the details.
I just can't. Honestly, like, I don't understand anything when I read headlines like this. It's really just incredible. Not even signed. Not even a real thing. Not even. And still, last time I checked, are there colonies on Mars? Has Elon Musk? Do we have colonies on Mars yet?
Not yet. No, not
Okay.
currently. But the
'Cause he
definitive
promised
agreement
that,
for
right?
colonies on Mars just hasn't been signed yet.
Okay,
That's why.
right.
That's
Okay.
why.
What do you got? You played the game correctly this week.
Yeah, I
didn't you?
played the game correctly. I'm just going to read the headline, and I'm just going to let the headline linger like a fart. Children sob as Waymo runs over dog.
Waymo being one of these self-driving cars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. Was it a robot dog or was it a fleshy dog?
No, it was a real dog. It wasn't a robot dog with a Mark
With a
Zuckerberg
billionaire head.
head on it. That would have been better.
Look, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm forever torn about the self-driving car world because there are two things competing in my head. First of all, like, America and maybe the rest of the world, we're getting stupider as time goes on. And
What?
and I've really noticed since COVID that drivers really are
They're really
idiots.
bad. Yeah,
They're
I
bad.
think
They're-
actually,
and they're dangerous.
I have like conspiracy theories that something about the virus itself like triggered like anger in our
Well,
brains.
yes,
like,
that's part of it. Well, we're also socially isolated and we're angry at everything. That's part
I
of
mean,
it too.
between the virus and our phones and like
Yeah.
like Netflix, it basically we don't know how to deal with people anymore, and therefore,
No.
if you don't get something in like 1 nanosecond, you're beeping, you're running red lights, you're like
You're not
no one has
signaling.
patience.
Because here's the thing. The one thing I told my daughter, and hats off to my son who decided not to get a driver's license because I think that's the right move. Like, just use your bike or ride the bus or walk. Like, we don't, But the one thing I really told my daughter was this: driving is easy. Sure, there's a learning curve to it all, but it's easy. It's just that the other drivers you have to worry about, right? Because
That's
you have to
always the
respond
thing.
because you're expecting a certain pattern of driving, but they're not going to give it to you, and that's why it's going to be a nightmare. So on the one hand, I self-driving cars really could actually save a lot of lives, save a lot of
It's
like.
not dog lives.
But then on the other hand, it's the people who run the companies that create. So that's what scares me the most. It's like the Elon Musks in the world. So I'm torn on this whole world. So, my sense is that if self-driving cars took over, we'd have fewer dead dogs. Would we not? Maybe.
Well, to that end, there was another story that you pulled yesterday, I think. That the story is this is the headline: Waymo just reprogrammed its robo-taxis to drive less safely.
Yeah, so this is the problem: is that like when you put it in the hands of like corporations and like arrogant prick CEOs and dual-class companies, then I don't know what the future of self-driving cars is. If it was under control by people like Elizabeth Warren, or people like scholars who lived in Massachusetts, maybe I'd be a little bit more comfortable with it. But that's
The
not
co-CEO
how the free
of
enterprise
Waymo
works.
is a black woman.
Okay, well there you go. Co-CEO.
A co-CEO. The other is obviously a white guy. He's the main
J-Hogue.
CEO.
Yeah, he's the main CEO.
He's
Yeah,
and he
all
went
right.
to
Well,
Stanford.
yeah. Let's move on.
Who won the week for you?
Easy one for me. Not even a joke. Not even sarcasm. Nothing even witty here, or I should say, attempt at being witty, because probably not witty at all. But I'm just gonna go with Costco.
Ooh, that's a good. That's
Right. I mean, not only are they suing the Trump administration, but they're hiring probably one of the smartest women in America to help them with that.
yeah, and it's a
the
holiday
board.
season, and everybody should shop at Costco.
The
Apparently,
board is not 50-50 women.
My winner is robot dogs because
Okay.
no robot dogs were killed by a Waymo.
They won't run over, and they're
w-
pooping.
They're poop. They have plenty of fiber.
Yeah.
And it's a down that they look a little like a billionaire, but I think robot dogs are a big winner. What's your prediction?
My prediction sucks. I'm almost ashamed to admit it, but I'm going to read it anyway because I didn't have time to come up with a better one. So there was a headline, and there were two headlines. I was going to make a story about it, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So it's basically the same story. Larry Fink and Jamie Dimon, originally with all this like crypto bullshit and Bitcoin. Originally, they thought it was nonsense, and
Yeah.
of course now they're going to get rich off of it. The headline was that I'm looking at is Jamie Dimon once called Bitcoin a fraud, right?
Yeah,
Because again, billionaires pontificating, billionaires they're telling you what's real and what's not real. Now J.P. Morgan is quietly making blockchain history and betting this crypto winter will be short-lived. The point being that they figured out a way that they just want to make money. That's all. That's all they ever want to do. Larry Fink included.
Once they can make money without losing money, then they're all in.
And it doesn't matter what they previously said. It doesn't even matter if maybe him calling it a fraud disrupted other things. It doesn't matter. None of that matters.
None of
to
that
Jamie
matters.
Dimon.
No.
So based on that, Jamie decides to invest in a volcano-powered NFT mining farm.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. I don't
Remember
even...
NFTs was the big thing. So it's just
I
gonna be
remember NFTs. I don't know what
whenever a
mining
volcano
farm
erupts,
is.
it's gonna fuel into a farm that creates. I don't know.
This
I was
is
trying
the
to make a
worst.
Bitcoin
This is one
mining
of your-
joke
this
to
is
throw
one of
back
your-
to NFTs. I was trying here. I
Not
just
one of your
thought,
best. All right, mine's a lot simpler.
And hopefully the volcano is gonna kill a bunch of people. Go
mine's
ahead.
a lot simpler. Mine is
ahead.
Costco will start selling a new kind of robot dog because they actually already sell a robot dog. Obviously.
Costco does?
Yeah, Costco does. It's a little furry one. It's for kids.
Really?
Right? Like you
Okay.
pet it. and
I don't go
walks
in
or
that
whatever.
section when I'm at Costco.
But they're going to start selling a new kind of robot dog that has Gina Raimondo and Jeffrey
Oh.
Rakes' face on it,
Oh.
and it poops out pictures of Howard Lutnick.
So it has two of the stronger directors at Costco pooping out pictures of
Commerce
Treasury
Secretary Howard Lutnick.
Yeah, who is
his
getting
thing.
rich with all of his enterprises, and his son too. Everything they're in on is just like making tons
It's
of money
all
for them.
fraud. That's all we got. That's Hazelnut Morales, also known as Gaming. I am your Randall Soman. We are free float. Come back next week when we've got more shows. We've got more stuff. In fact, there's a crossover episode happening next week between Shareholder Primacy and Business Pants Proxy Countdown. It is us together with Ann and Mike at Shareholder Primacy to talk about 2026 proxies and what's going to happen. Next Tuesday, we've got a guest host.
Yeah.
Because Hazelnut's not here, we have Doug Chaw coming back
right,
to the show,
Doug.
friend of the show, Doug and I are going to do some blame games. I'm going to ask him who to blame, and he's going to give me the answers. Until then, good. Bye.